The trick to a successful blind date is to lie. You got to die with the lie. All right, hear me out. I've never thought that it was possible to have a successful blind date. First date, never met, don't know nothing about each other, meet up, go out, whatever. It doesn't seem possible. Turns out it is. I had a first date, never met. Probably one of the best dates I've ever been on. Why? Because of the lie. Now, we went to a comedy show at the Comedy Store, and I bought, the tickets that sit you up front because, obviously, I want the comedian's attention, and I want to do a little bit. And I tell her, I'm like, hey, if I do a bit, are you gonna be down? Like, are you in on it? And she was like, yeah, of course. And I was like, all right, cool, I like that, yeah. And so all night, no comedians talk to us at all, zero. No one pays us any attention. We're sitting front and center, nothing. And so it's like the 11th comedian, and she comes on, and she does her whole set. At the very end, she starts asking people questions. I was like, all right, maybe we'll get one. And she was like, is anybody here on the first date? And she got over to us, and the the girls on the date with said yes. And I was like, what? Kinda. And the comedian was like, what do you mean you're kind of on the first date? I was like, we're divorced, but we're court mandated to go on a first date again to like re-spark the marriage, the chemistry, whatever, because we're in a custody battle with the kids. And the comedian's just like, what the fuck's going on here? And I was like, well, we're in a custody battle, and neither of us want the kids. And the whole crowd was like, like we're pieces of shit. And I was like, she don't want the kids, I don't want the kids. Neither of us want them. We're trying to figure out who the fuck's gonna take these little kids. And the comedian was like, how old are your kids? I was like, we got 3, I think. I was like 7, 5. And I asked my date, and I was like, how old's the newest one? She was like, I don't know, like 3 months. And I was like, the crowd gasped again. And I was like, yeah, we're not really feeling it. It's not our thing. And she was just like flabbergasted. She was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, what are you two doing? And I was like, I don't know, man. It was just a complicated situation. So she moved on. And then she came back toward the end of her set, and like, so what the I was like, I'm sorry. Look, I got to tell you, I lied. We've never met before. This is our first date. It's a blind date, actually. We met on Raya, and barely even talked. And we just met up here tonight. Somehow we came up with this bit. I'm sorry to have bamboozled, but we thought it was hilarious, and it turns out it was. So the key to a good first date is to lie. You die with the lie, okay? I didn't die with the lie, I guess.